Hello and welcome to today's Intel Brief. Today is Tuesday, 20 May. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about Netanyahu saying that they will take control of the entire Gaza Strip, Trump saying that Russia-Ukraine ceasefire talks will start immediately, and US bans Indian agencies that are facilitating illegal immigration. So firstly, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel will take control of the entire Gaza Strip as the military has escalated its offensive into the territory. The fighting has been intense and they are making progress. They will take control of the entire territory of the Gaza Strip, Netanyahu said in a video posted to his Telegram channel. We will not give it up, but in order to succeed, we must act in a way that cannot be stopped, he added. Netanyahu said that the aim was to have the entire area controlled by the Israeli Defense Force, where the entire civilian population of Gaza could receive aid without Hamas receiving anything. The Gazan Health Ministry, which is controlled by Hamas, said on Sunday that at least 3,193 people have been killed since Israel resumed their offensive in March 18th. Bringing the total death count to the war to 53,300. So what? I don't think it's realistic for the IDF to try and control the entire Gaza Strip just purely based on the amount of soldiers they would need and the tactical considerations on the ground, mainly being the tunnels created by Hamas to move in and out of fighting areas. This just seems like a wild idea. Plus, the international community is getting more and more critical of Israel's offensives. This is including the US. If Israel loses US support, then I don't know where they'll turn to get most of their supplies. And while they probably have short-term supplies for most things, in the long term they'll need help with especially ammunition for their missile defense systems. And next, US President Donald Trump says talks between Russia and Ukraine to end the war would start immediately. In a post on his Truth Social, Trump said that in a call with Russian President Vladimir Putin went very well. Russia and Ukraine will start negotiations towards a ceasefire and, more importantly, to end the war, he wrote. He said that he spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders after his phone call with Putin. Trump also spoke with the European Commissioner, President Ursula von der Leyen, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, French President Emmanuel Macron, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, and the Finnish President Alexander Stubb about the call. Must have been a busy boy. Trump added that the Vatican has offered to host the Ukrainian-Russian talks. So what? It does just appear that Putin is playing him for a fool at this point, just continually dragging this out, saying, yeah, I'm keen for peace talks, and then just not fucking doing anything. This is highly likely just more of the same from Putin, and Trump's just lapping it up. I do see, like, Trump's goal, in my opinion, is to end this war so they can get himself a Nobel Peace Prize. To do that, he needs to get Putin to come to the table. Getting Putin to come to the table, the easiest way is to probably try and give him as much as he possibly can. However, this is not what the EU, this is not what Europe or Ukraine want to be doing. So he's between a rock and a hard place because he needs to try and force Ukraine to cede territory to Russia so that he can get his peace deal and his Nobel Peace Prize. It seems highly unlikely that we're any closer to peace, and that it also seems unlikely that Putin actually wants to have any talks about peace. So I think it's just more of the same. I wonder how long Trump will get played like a fool. And lastly, the US State Department has announced a visa ban on owners, executives, and senior officials of an Indian-based travel agency it accuses of knowingly facilitating illegal immigration into the United States. The statement on Monday by the department spokesperson did not mention any details on those hit by the visa restrictions, including their names or the names of the travel agencies they represent. The statement also did not mention how illegal immigration to the US was being facilitated. The State Department said its Consular Affairs and Diplomatic Security Service mission in India has identified those engaged in facilitating illegal immigration and human smuggling to the United States. It vowed to continue imposing visa restrictions on representatives of travel agencies in order to cut off alien smuggling networks. The visa restrictions would even apply to individuals who would otherwise have qualified for a visa waiver program, the State Department said. So what? It's interesting to see that using legal transportation methods, such as getting a visa and then just overstaying your visa, from what I understand, this is still the most effective way that people sneak into the United States. So it's unsurprising that the US State Department is cracking down on these types of organizations who are facilitating illegal migration flow. And it's good to see that, they've broadened the scope from those just jumping the southern border, as there's clearly other methods of getting into the country. This seems like a good move all round, and hopefully they're passing the information to their EU and UK partners so they can do the same, as it's highly likely that these organisations are also facilitating illegal migration into other countries, other Western countries, especially in Europe and the UK. Thank you for listening to today's Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time. See you.